3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. How are you? So I just got off Instagram Live, and in fact, you might even notice that this apron is on backwards, but I left it on backwards because Instagram doesn't flip the screen, so like Facebook does. So anyway, I am setting up. I have a great recipe that I'm going to cook for you today, but because I just got off the Instagram Live, I'm actually not set up to do it. So I guess today's show is going to be about setting up, and maybe you'll all enjoy watching me set up for this. I don't know, but nonetheless, I have nothing here except for the mustard that I use to talk about leg cramps on the show on Instagram. So that's what today's show is going to be all about. Hey, you made it driving home from the grocery store, but listening. You listened to the Instagram, Lucy? Is that what you did? That is so cool if that's what you did. I'm so glad. Or did you listen to yesterday's Facebook Live? That was fun, but I really enjoyed Instagram today because I don't usually go on Instagram at all, and so it was here. I know this is a little closer than you ever wanted to be, but I have to get everything out of the way here. So, hey Stacy, how are you? Nice to see you. Everybody is joining in, getting alerted, trying to find me here. So I am in the middle of setting up because I just spent, there's Frank, I just spent about an hour and 10 listening live on Facebook on my cell. Okay, good. I'm so glad. So I spent an hour on Instagram doing the same presentation on Instagram that I did yesterday and Gather with Nanny Bubby, and I just finished. So I was 4 minutes late tuning in here, but I'm even later than I need to be because nothing is set up. So I guess you guys can watch me get set because I do have dinner to make tonight, and I always wait and save it until you're all here. Okay. Hey, yay. So here's the first thing I always do. Let me grab my headset so that as I walk away to grab things, you can hear me. So let's see if these work. So how many of you saw and enjoyed the masterclass yesterday in Gather with Nanny Bubby? Let's see. Can you guys hear me on the headsets? I don't hear them connected, unfortunately. I did not feel that they connected. I guess. Let's see. Oh boy, we're having a few problems today, but usually I have to open them up like that and stick them in. They connected. I heard it. Okay. Hey, Judy Woods. So I was just asking, I am late because I just got off the live Instagram, did the same presentation that I did in Gather over there on Instagram. It was really fun. Hey, Heather, nice to see you. But I just got off. And this area is where, you hear me. Okay, thank you. This area is where I do the presentation. So I did not have time to set anything up, but you're going to get to hear me and watch me. So the first thing that I do when I set up is I bring my handy dandy little burner that my sister let me borrow for these, hey Rob, nice to see you, that she let me borrow for these cooking shows, and I had never given it back to her. Actually, I give it back to her Christmas morning when we all go over to her house to make our favorite morning breakfast for Christmas morning, but then I take it right back because I have to have it for the next day. So anyway, we plug it in and off to the refrigerator. So today I am making the tomatillo chicken, which, oh my gosh. So I came home from the grocery and I put the chicken out in the refrigerator out on the patio. So I will have to go out there for just a minute, and I don't even have the recipe here to follow. So now I got to go get the recipe. Okay, maybe this is more than you want to see, but here we go. I've got to go to my purse, which is over here down the hallway, and grab the recipe. And while I'm at it, I will walk outside. It's chicken thighs with tomatillos. They're braised chicken thighs. This is one of my favorite recipes. You have seen me make it. This was straight out of the New York Times cooking app. Here's the recipe, so I'm getting closer. And I'm going to walk outside now and get the chicken. And then I'm going to go get the pot that I'm going to make this in. And then I will be there to cook with all of you. So I'm outside now. And here is the chicken. Okay. And I'm back. Now we're going to get the pot. There's the chicken. And this pot is in the back and hard to get to. You're going to hear a lot of clanging, but here we go. Okay. Here we are. Okay, here we go. And now we are ready to actually have a cooking show, I'm hoping. Let me get the salt and pepper because you know I'm going to need that. I remember one of my secrets was to make sure that you always had your ingredients in front of you and ready to go, all the way measured out so that you don't have to step off camera. As I always say, hey, Danny, how are you? So tomorrow, I'm going to be making a ratatouille. I'm so excited to make a ratatouille because I pulled out of my garden. Can I tell you? These are the last eggplant of the season. Look at that. And my tomato plants we cut way back because the cold weather's coming. But look at these beautiful eggplant. These are the green tomatoes that were on the vine that we took off because we had to cut them as far back as possible to prepare them for the winter. And I will show you that I got a huge bale of God help me, of red kale. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my God. Okay, let's read this recipe and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to season the chicken with salt and pepper, add to the pot, skin side down, and cook without disturbing until skin has rendered most of the fat and is a nice golden brown. So these are those Princess House pots, and they are non-stick. And one of the things that I have learned from cooking in these Princess House pots is that if you put a little oil in them, it's too much. And it's also too much when you're using chicken with the skin on it because the skin has so much fat in it. And so they don't brown. They mostly just sort of boil or steam if you add the oil into these pots. So today, having learned that lesson, I am not going to put anything into this pot. I want you to be able to see that. Let me lift this up so that you can see it. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. I think you were on Instagram. I think I saw you on Instagram watching. Thank you so much. It flips up so fast. It's always a little bit harder to see. So, okay, I'm going to wash my hands because, jazz hands clean are a cook's best tool. So let me go ahead and wash these. So hold on just a minute. That was kind of fun. Jazz hands, clean jazz hands, chef's best tools. I like that. I think I'm going to use it again. Okay, here we go. So let's open up the package. Let me get some paper towels to blot them with. And this is literally making me hungry, but we are not eating until very, very late tonight because Tom and Russell have a fundraiser that they are doing tonight for a great client who's running for city council, Lou DeSalvio. And so I'm going to prep this and let it braise while they're away. And then when they get home, we'll all be able to eat. So here is some paper towels. Best thing to do is to blot these. So there's a lot of talk about, do you rinse your chicken? Do you not rinse your chicken? The CDC, and God only knows, or the FDA, chicken that was processed and made in the 50s and 60s had a very different processing piece to it than what we now have, what the strict guidelines that they now have to use to process chicken, especially if it's organic chicken. And so you need to wash your chicken first. The FDA says absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't need to. In fact, by washing it, you're splattering the juices throughout the kitchen, and they've done blacklight studies that show that without you even realizing it, hey Susie, without you even realizing it, uh, the juice, I don't know what else to call it, but flies into areas of your kitchen that you would have no idea. In fact, if you touch it with your hands and then run to the refrigerator and then pull the handle, you're getting it there, and then your kids come along and touch it, and this is how salmonella is transferred. So, I'm just like crazy nuts about um, chicken and always protecting where I can. So, but the way they call it, there's a process now that they use air chilled. So they air chill it, which gets, even if you notice, most of the chicken that you buy these days is not put off a lot of the blood that it used to, and it's much better. So that having been said, I don't ever feel the need to rinse chicken. I've done a lot of looking at that, talking about it, and discovery about it. And so I don't wash. Occasionally I may food grade hydrogen peroxide the inside of a chicken that I'm roasting, just because sometimes if it's got a lot of blood and lungs and different things that are on the inside of it, I want to get it out. But as a normal course of business, I do not. So here we go. Hey, Jennifer Tuttle, nice to see you. Hope you're feeling well. So as this is heating up, getting nice and hot, again, I'm not putting any fat into the pan at all. No oil whatsoever. I'm going to salt these chicken thighs, which I'm not sure if you can see or not, but they're going into the pan, and I do want you to have a better view of that. I will salt the back side of them because I'm going to put these skin side down. There we go. Okay. Okay. And now, because I've already touched the paper towel and everything else, I'm going to use my hands to transfer them into the pan. And then I'm going to wash these really, really good. And we will move ahead. So let's see. Can you see this? Hello there, Frank. I think Frank and Susie are saying hello to each other. So, okay. Here we go. Into the pan. I love this pan. It's so nice and big. I know it looks like I'm cooking for an army here. And sometimes I wonder who is eating all this food, but somehow, eventually, over a 24-hour period, it all goes. So, you can smell it already. It smells fantastic. Okay. So fortunately, my trash can is a step-on trash can, so I don't have to touch anything. Good afternoon, Susie. And so I got that in the trash, and now I'm going to wash, okay? And then we're going to move on. So while that is braised or sauteing or browning is, I guess, the better word. Hold on just a minute. Throw soap onto these hands. So I found a great recipe for ratatouille, and I'm very excited to make it tomorrow because of the eggplant that I pulled out of the garden. The eggplant, it's the last of the eggplant in the garden until the spring comes along. So we shall see how that comes out. So thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. All right, so you can see this now. We're going to salt and pepper the back side. I wonder if I remembered to put everything out. Can you hear it sizzling? So this is what I love, is because they would not be sizzling if I had put a little bit of olive oil into this pan. The pan is a bit of non-stick. Now normally I would do this in a different way. I would do 2 batches in a smaller pan. Boy, that looks so good. Oh, smells so good. It does. Okay, so we're going to let these brown. Hey, Paula, how are you? Nice to see you. Boy, everybody's coming today. Okay, so we're going to season this. We're going to do about 8 to 10 minutes. And you want it to be very deeply golden brown, that it stays nice and brown as it braises, it says. Again, I found this recipe on the New York Times app. And then step 3, we're going to use the tongs and flip the chicken and continue to cook until nicely browned on the other side, about another 5 to 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do in the meanwhile, I've got to find my little cutting board, and I'm going to husk these tomatillos. So do you see that? Um, I don't know who this is that's just joined, but it's a heck of a name. So thank you for being here. All right, let me grab the tongs. Um, oh, okay. No 5-second rule in this house. If it drops, you got to rinse it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. So these are the tomatillos. They are in husk. They look like little green tomatoes. And if you can see it, I'm going to open it up. They're very easy to remove the husk. There you go. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? Nice and green. Isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do, you know, Susie, I've said hello to you 5 times. So if you're not hearing it, I apologize. And maybe you're not listening. Okay. So um, there we go. All right. Maybe you can't hear. Okay. So there's the tomatillos. And can you see that? We're just going to take off the husk and we're going to rinse it just like that. And get these prepared. I can't remember exactly. I would be tempted to use leftovers to try making chicken tortilla soup. Patty and I made it once and it was yummy. So your leftover chicken is what you're saying, Lucy, is that you use that to make. Um, so it's really interesting about my audience here with all of you is that you are all cooks and you all join just to give me ideas, to get your own ideas, and you're very experienced cooks. Yes, she says. But those people on Instagram are actually looking for somebody to teach them because they actually are not cooks. And it's a very different audience on both of these platforms. And it's given me time to make experience, or through my experience, to figure out who I'm talking to and how to take my subject and create a different experience on each of the platforms. So I have a little itch. Got to take care of that before you go crazy, right? Um, and so it's been a very, very interesting experience. We had many people today on Instagram who came to the live. It was quite lovely. And we had a really good time. So I just want to mention that we are having the Nanny Bubby Holiday Gather 2021 on December 14th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a $97 family ticket for you to join. It's going to be very similar to our winter's retreat, which will be loads of fun. I know we all had so much fun on that. I learned so much and had so much fun because for me, it was fun because it was a two-way street. It wasn't just a one-way street. It was a two-way conversation, not a monologue, but a dialogue. And I love talking to everybody, learning from everybody, listening to everybody's um, this, that, and the other about the Thanksgiving holiday. And so it was really fun. And so that's why I really wanted to create an opportunity. And what's really great is it's very limited. And the first 5 people who sign up get a one-on-one 30-minute call with me prior to the event to talk through anything that could be coming up before your December 14th when we all get together, or something you'd like for me to do on the December 14th class. I mean, it's just a very, very, very interesting experience for everybody. So I hope you'll join. Ticket is $97. You could go into Gather and find the link, and I'll post the link in here for all of you. I couldn't get anything to post in here today when I started. I don't know what's up with Facebook these days, but anyway, what I'm going to do next is grab a cutting board. Every day I have a new experience on Facebook, so I just go with it. So let's see how these are browning. Let's take a look. Hey Arlene, nice to see you. Okay, these are getting nice and brown. See that? Beautiful. But because this burner is not as big as the pan, sometimes things brown in one area but don't brown in the other. That's good. How about this one? No. These not so much yet. So these we can turn over. So, you guys see that? There we go. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. I really, maybe you say you're not a cook, but I believe you do your fair share of entertaining, if I'm not mistaken. So I wonder how you've been able to entertain all these years without being a cook. Hey, Arlene. Hi, back. Nice to see you. Um, Arlene Harmony was talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm the other day, and she said, what's the name of that attorney that looks just like um, Larry David? And it's like, if anybody like looks up Arlene Blute on Facebook and sees a picture of her husband, he is the spitting image of Larry David. He even walks like Larry David. He's built like Larry David. I swear he walks through airports and people yell to him, hey Larry, and he's so funny because hey, he says. And what's really funny about him is that he actually he has kind of the same personality. He's a riot, actually. It's so funny. So anyway, I thought that was hilarious, Arlene, and Harmony was talking about it. Oh, friends assist you. Okay, so we're going to transfer this chicken to a plate or a cutting board and leave all the fat and golden bits behind. And we're going to add the smashed garlic, half of the sliced onion. We're going to season it with salt and pepper, and we're going to sweat it. I love that. It says cook it, but I know they mean sweat it. So that's what I'm going to do. Then we're going to add the tomatillos. The tomatillos are chopped. So let's do that. I'm going to grab a knife because I didn't have time to grab my knife. So, Arlene, if you're still here, how many airports have you been in where people yell, hey, Larry David? Tell us. It's got to be hilarious. Okay, so can you guys see this? There we go. Suddenly, smelling this, I am very hungry. Okay. I love how these look. Can you guys see that? They really look like tomatoes, but then they don't. The seeds are very, very tiny on the inside. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Sur La Table has food mills on sale. And, after making all those tomatoes in the spring, I realized that in order to get the seeds out and in order to do it correctly, I absolutely needed a food mill. And in fact, I want to make sure that I get a food mill before I defrost that tomato sauce that I made, just because I really want to get the seeds out. And the food mill is the best way to get those seeds out. So, okay. You guys watching this? Yes, you are. I really do appreciate that you guys all join every day. And I just want to encourage you, if at all, to come along in our holiday gather for $97. You can. There's limited seats. The first 5 who book are getting a free 30-minute call with me to discuss whatever it is you'd like to discuss about your food for the holidays. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Okay. There we go. I truly love this knife. I took this knife with me down to Oceanside, and I took so many utilities and so many different things with me, but I was not going to leave without this knife, that's for sure. Okay, let me turn this over now. Oh, those browned even more. Those actually look fantastic. Let me show you that. Look at how nice those look. Look at how beautiful. You want to get them really nice and crispy and brown. Hey, Teresa, nice to see you. What date do you need to sign up by? So the cart is going to be open until, I haven't really actually looked at it, but the cart is going to be open either A, until it fills up, obviously, because there are limited seats, or B, until the Sunday before, because I have to be able to see how many. I want to get everybody recipes and different things like that, so there's a lot of prepping. So either the Friday or Sunday before the 14th. So I think that the 14th is a Tuesday, so December 12th is the Sunday, and December 10th would be that Saturday, but it just depends how fast it goes. But at least until the week of until the weekend of the 9th and 10th and 11th. How's that? Thank you very much. And gorgeous with the salt and pepper. So true. And no oil, right? Because I didn't want to, and thank goodness I didn't, because this pan does not need any more oil, that's for sure. Okay, we've got a few more tomatillos to slice up. They're very tacky. The skin of the tomatillos are actually very tacky. I've always noticed this. I never even heard of a tomatillo prior to cooking this recipe for the very first time. But the tackiness comes from the husk, and it actually doesn't cut off. So, or wash off is what I meant to say, is wash off. Okay. So we did have a good time. I swallowed the yellow mustard that I talked about yesterday live on Instagram, a big tablespoon full of it, huge tablespoon, this size. You can see it's still in there. And I nearly choked myself to death, honestly. Like, I don't recommend being live on the air anywhere. And down in that, it was, and luckily, somehow I kept myself from choking, because it is a choke down, let me tell you. But those leg cramps definitely go away when you do it. So that is one of my happiest hacks, especially when I myself have to wake up in the middle of the night and hobble into this kitchen to get relief. My husband says, why don't you put it beside the bed when you know that you've been cooking for days for a holiday? But I'm so tired when I go to bed, I never remember. I literally promise myself I'm going to do it, and then I always forget. I need a plate. Hold on. Okay. So on Sunday, I'm having a Hanukkah party just for a few young families. It's very, very small this year. These brown nicely on both sides. We're going to take these out. And so here is a little trick I learned. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you take rose dough dinner rolls, the frozen dough dinner rolls in the frozen section of your grocery store. They're called Rose, Rhodes, Rose dough. Hold on just a minute. Let me get this. Sorry, I'm gonna come back to that tip in just a minute. Add the tomatillos, half the jalapeno, garlic and onion. Okay, so let me see. This is why I gave that tip yesterday. Is you should look through all your ingredients before you make it. Otherwise, things get out of control and burn. But for those of you who are just joining me, because I was on Instagram Live right up until 3 o'clock, I literally did not have time to prep for today's show. So I had to prep right in front of all of you. So I apologize for that. Usually I'm better prepared, as you know, but that ended right at 0300 hours, so it's a little difficult. Okay, I need to run this under cold water. Oh, skin won't come off. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. 1 second. Boy, I hate that when this happens. And it's pretty much usually just with red onion. But I'm going to have to just kind of slice a little bit of this skin just to get it started. Yes, I am struggling. Goodness gracious. Here we go. Here it comes. Wow. All right. Type of 1 if you've ever had this kind of trouble with an onion. It's crazy, isn't it? Okay, so, whoop. Run away, onion. Okay. Oh, boy. I think Nanny Bubby might be tired from the events of the last couple days, but I've sure enjoyed going live with the 3 secrets, and I had a 6th secret today. I know yesterday I only had 5, but everybody who was watching on Instagram, I had a 6th secret, and that 6th secret is that you need to put love into everything you make. There you go. Judy's a 1. Yep, Judy does a lot of cooking, so no doubt. Okay, so it was just to stop and be present and to think about who you're feeding and how you're nourishing them. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. Okay, so I actually had 6 secrets today, which I can't believe I forgot that one yesterday, but I did. Okay, so thank you, Judy, for always participating. Okay, so let's split this out. This is really nice because these onions are going to take on the flavor of the chicken fat, which is awesome. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. And some garlic. I'm going to get my garlic press because sometimes I just decide, you know what, this is not worth chopping. I don't have the space today. So, and I've got a jalapeno I need to splice. Where is my garlic press? Here it is. You know, I actually alphabetize my spice cabinet, and I have this thing where I know where every little thing goes in my kitchen, which is great, but sometimes actually a lot, Tom unloads the dishwasher for me or the dish drainer, and sadly, sometimes he puts things away where they don't go, and I have to think, okay, if I were Tom, where would I have put that? Okay, here we go. Okay. How many of you have that problem with someone you live with, right? They do such a lovely job. They try hard. And then you go, where did you put that? Why did you put that there? And it kind of ruins it, kind of takes away the joy, I'm sure, that they have in helping. But I'm always appreciative when Tom helps. It's just that sometimes I can't find things when he's done. So, okay. Let's get this garlic. Boy, I'll tell you. Usually, I'm frustrated with it because usually I do all of this before you guys get here. And I hate taking the time to do it. But then again, you get to see the real side of everything. Okay, so, and one more garlic. And then we're going to use the garlic press. So I never really used the garlic press because I always felt like I was cheating. But then when I was watching the Yotam Ottolenghi masterclass, he used it all the time. Yes, well, Tom doesn't know that he doesn't know. That's the thing, Teresa. My husband is supposed to leave it on the counter for me too. But the problem is he doesn't know that he doesn't know. He actually thinks he knows. That's the problem, right? You get what I'm trying to say there, Teresa? So he thinks it goes somewhere that it doesn't, but he really swears that that's where he thought that it went. So that's a different problem because he thinks he's doing good. Okay, there we go. Then the skin is on the inside. And I never realized that garlic had skin, but I like to actually take the skin, scrape it out, because it would have been on there anyway. And more garlic. Yes, that happens there too. It does. Okay. All right. Let's get this garlic out. I don't want it to burn. And see, this is exactly what I talked about yesterday, is that when you don't prep things, it will burn. And I never have that problem. Hey, Tony Carrison. Whoa, how are you? I never have that problem when I'm cooking for all of you because I always am prepped. But again, as I said, the live masterclass on Instagram went long today, and so I really did not have the time to get prepped. So I'm doing the best I can. All right, so I think these have not only sweated, but they have browned. I don't want the garlic to burn, so I've turned off the fire on this. And let's see what these instructions say. Instructions say, so until about 5 minutes, add the tomatillos, half the jalapeno, and season with salt and pepper. Add the chicken stock. So I'm going to go ahead and add the tomatillos, which will slow down the cooking. And I'm going to slice up that jalapeno, which I always use gloves to slice it with. And unfortunately, I don't have the gloves on already, so remind me not to touch my eyes in 3 hours from now. So, okay, here we go. Let's see, can you see that? Okay. I hate to do this. Okay, hold on. I got to take this down the sink. I'm going to rinse it in cold water, get the seeds out. Pray I remember not to touch my eyes. There we go. The seeds are killers. The seeds are total killers. I mean, you'll set your tongue on fire, your eye on fire, the inside of your mouth on fire. What I really love these jalapenos for is margaritas. Tell me, have any of you had a jalapeno margarita? They are sensational. What a genius thing it was, whoever came up with that recipe. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can see this, but you'll see them as I throw them in. I'm going to have to step off camera for a minute. And yes, you have, right? I bet you've got a lot of that in Yuma, Teresa. Honestly, I bet you've got like margarita factories in that area of the country. Sounds amazing. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to turn the fire back on. This is definitely slowed. And I'm going to step away for half a second, but you can still hear me, and get the chicken stock. Now, this is not my homemade chicken stock because I could not defrost it in time. Which this smells so good. Oh my God. Is the drink berries? It's really not as bad as you would think. It's just got, I think that the tequila actually cuts the heat. And in the cutting of the heat, it also then flavors the tequila actually pulls out the spicy of the jalapeno, and then as it does that, it gives it the same flavor that one little chunked up jalapeno gives to this whole braising process. So it's really good. Lucy, tell her just a little bit, if you've ever had it, tell her what you think it tastes like while I am off camera here. Just type what you think. So let's see how much chicken stock. So I don't know if you've ever seen this organic chicken stock, but this I got at, as you can see, Kirkland's. I got it from Costco, and I got to tell you, when I'm not using my own, this is fantastic. Let's see, 4 cups of chicken stock, which is exactly what this is. So let's give it a good shake, shake, shake. Tony says, jalapeno margarita is great. Looking good, Marla. I can almost smell the food. That's awesome. Lucy says, if you use the ref of it is more hot. Oh, if you use the red of a jalapeno. What do you mean if you use the red? Red? Oh, if you use the red jalapeno, which is actually a Fresno chili. That's what you're saying, right? It's actually called a Fresno chili, the red jalapeno. I think, is that what you mean? Okay, so here we go. You have no idea how good this smells. You really don't. And I am so hungry. Yum. Okay, a little bit of salt and pepper, which I forgot to put in before I put in the chicken stock, but here we go. Nice, generous helping of that salt. It's kosher salt. Can't over salt, so I never worry about it. A little bit of pepper. There we go. Let's take our tongs, and I think we're just going to bring this into a simmer. Add chicken stock and bring to a simmer, reduce the heat, and add the chicken back in, skin side up. They will not submerge all the way, that's fine. Simmer uncovered until the tomatillos have completely broken down and the sauce has thickened, about 30 minutes. So here we go. I have made a huge mess. Okay, some jalapenos are green and have some red on them. I see the red part is spicier. Okay, I like mine spicy. Well, there you go. I get what you're saying now. Okay, so let's turn this up. There we go. Isn't this looking beautiful? You know, I sometimes crave this recipe. I know I've made it this might be the third time I've made it on the show here with you guys, but it has so much flavor and it's so healthy. And believe it or not, what I am cooking it with, you look very handsome, my son. My son just came down. They have a big fundraiser tonight. He looks very good, very handsome. He does, very handsome. Well, a handsome man walks in the room and Nanny Bubby loses it. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I was talking about what I was going to serve along with it. So I made this yesterday, and I'm going to show you what it is. This is the side dish that I'm going to serve along with it. I'm going to roast these beautiful zucchini that I made yesterday. We didn't roast them last night because we were going out to a holiday party, and which was a very late party. It was a 2.5-hour cocktail party before dinner, which we were not expecting. But nonetheless, it is what it is. So this is about to come with, we had a good time, and the food was Persian. A Persian caterer came in from Los Angeles to cater the event, and it was beautiful lamb and chicken kebabs, beef kebabs, and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So it was definitely worth waiting for dinner to come about. Okay. All right. There we go. Coming to a simmer. Almost there. So I was telling you that I am having a Hanukkah party, and I was telling you about the Rhodes dough, right? So let me tell you just a little bit more about the Rhodes dough. Here is a hack that I had no idea, is that you take the Rhodes dinner rolls from the freezer of your grocery store, you bring them home, you defrost them, you let them rise. Don't let them rise too much because they rise when you deep fry them. But what you're going to do is you're going to deep fry them like they're donuts, right? You're going to deep fry them like they're donuts. You take them out, you let them, drip down on from a rack, and then I'm going to have a little donut decorating station for all the little kids. I mean, how fun is that, right? I always buy my donuts, but when I heard about this hack, I'm like, oh, how fun would that be for these kids to actually make their own donuts and just decorate them any way that they would like to decorate them. Yes, very cute. I know. Okay. Vicky is barking. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put this back into the pot. Go. Now this also calls for a jar of chickpeas to be placed inside with these, but I don't do that. I do not do that. I'm actually going to put the juices from this plate right back into the pot because that couldn't hurt anything. And there we go. Look at that. Do you see that? There goes all the rest of the juices back into the pot. I'm going to give this just a little bit of a stir. And then I'm going to turn down this fire to medium low. And I'm going to let it simmer for the next 35 to 45 minutes while I go pick up my little doll face from school. And that's it today. Look at this. I'm going to give you a better shot. Isn't that beautiful? What do you think of that? Is that sensational or is that sensational? In all seriousness, it's gorgeous, right? Served along the zucchini. Yum! I cannot wait to eat tonight. Hurry home, boys, from your fundraiser. It's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me today. I had a blast. I always do. I apologize for being disorganized today, but I was still here. No matter where I was at 2 o'clock, I am always here for you by 3. Love you so much. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. No, it says simmer uncovered, Lucy. Simmer because you want the gravy to get thick, right? You want it to get thick. Thank you very much, Frank. Okay, I'm going to turn down just a little bit. Okay, there you go. Whoop. Okay, there you go. A lot of clicking going on, but I finally got it. All right, everybody, that's it. This is going to cook down. Shall I take a picture tonight when it's done? I think I will. Looks beautiful. Anyway, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go out and spread love like butter. See you tomorrow, everybody. Rat-tat-too-y tomorrow.